Who has New Year's resolutions or who believes in them? A lot of people do. I'm hearing people talk about New Year's resolutions, vision board parties, all that jazz. It's so exciting to start a new year because in a new year, you have a new outlook. In theory, you have a new outlook on life and you're beginning to look at things in a different way because you've been blessed to see another year. We've been blessed to see another day. We've been blessed to see another minute, seconds, so forth and so on. But we always look for specific steps of how we're going to do things. We need to have an A, B, C, D, E, F, G plan. And while that sounds great and while that is very awesome to have, what about when it's not necessarily in that particular order? What about when we're asking God, hey, God, can you tell me how this is actually going to work out? And He just wants you to step. Have you ever had that happen to you? I've had that happen to me. It's happening to me now. God is saying step, and I'm like, I need the GPS directions. I need steps 1, 2, 3, go down a quarter mile, make a left, and then go down 3 miles and make a right. You're saying just get in the car and drive. And I'm like, who does that? Especially nowadays, we have technology. Technology tells us where we should turn, and it'll let you know when you're off course. It'll reroute you, all of that. But isn't that how we should have our faith in God? God is saying just get in the car and drive. He's saying don't worry about the directions. I will guide you as you are going along. But you ask for faith. You ask for your faith in me to grow. How else will it grow unless when I say go, you just go? When it's time for you to just get up and just move, it's time to just move. But oftentimes we try to go about things our wrong way. Or our own way, which is the wrong way, which leads me to the scripture today. It says a person's own folly leads to their ruin, yet their heart rages against the Lord. And I'm coming from Proverbs 19, verse 3, NIV. I apologize. I usually say that at the beginning. Proverbs 19, verse 3 from the NIV, and I'll read it again. It says, a person's own folly leads to their ruin, yet their heart rages against the Lord. Doesn't that sound like us? Doesn't it sound like us when we just want to get in the car and just start driving and going our own way? Or, hey, I got these steps, so I know how to get there. Wait, I'm following somebody else. You know how when you're in a car and you're following somebody else, you trust and know that they know where they're going. But what happens, and I've been in the car, I've been the person leading, I've been the person following. What happens when the person that's supposed to be leading follows you to a place and they're lost themselves? That sounds like nowadays, doesn't it? There's so many people that are leading other people, but they're leading them incorrectly. They're leading them down a path of destruction. They're leading them in a false way. A person's own folly leads to their ruin. When we follow people that aren't of the Lord, the people that don't have the Lord residing inside of them, the people that are giving us false hopes and false promises, our own folly leads to our ruin. But then we get mad at God, like, how could you allow for me to get in this situation? How many relationships have we had in our lives where we prayed for the Lord to keep them, knowing that it's not from Him? And then we get mad at God. God, how could you allow me to stay in this relationship? God does not. God is the way. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. But He doesn't force you to follow the way. If you want to remain in darkness, that's your personal choice. If you decide to do that, don't get mad at Him for that. He didn't leave you there. You decided to stay there. When He wanted to allow for you to follow His steps, when He does provide us steps, and we decide to just do our own thing, why are we mad at the Creator when we try to create our own steps? It's very hypocritical, but it happens all the time. We always do that. But it's time for us to turn over a new leaf. It's a new year, new perspective. Pastor Furtick says, new year, new view, not new year, new you. New year, new view. I love that. I had to steal it, Pastor Furtick. But just to let you know that when we put ourselves in the situations that we put ourselves in, we have no one to blame. We can't blame God. We can't be upset at Him and say, why did you allow this to happen? When we put ourselves in our own situations. So the next time God says, trust me, I got you, and we decide to do things our own way, we know we can't blame Him. Trust in Him. Trust in His ways, even when it doesn't make sense. And a lot of the times, as we grow in our faith, we're no longer on milk. We're eating solid food. God is going to change the way that he interacts with us as we grow in relationship with him. So will we trust him when we hear his voice? Or we continue to question it because it doesn't align with the steps that we've been given, that we made up or that we heard somebody else tell us? Will we hear and heed the instructions of the Lord?